11 months ago, the internet was set ablaze by an explosive scandal that gripped us all by the throat and wouldn't let go. A cheating scandal that changed butt plugs forever. I'm talking, of course, about Hans Niemann versus Magnus Carlsen chess cheating allegations. I'll go ahead and bring you up to speed with a brief lore recap in case you forgot. Hans Niemann is a very strong chess player, and he played against one of the best of all time, Magnus Carlsen, in a tournament. And Hans Niemann shocked the chess world when he beat Magnus. But no one was more shocked than Magnus, and he made some insinuations that there may have been foul play afoot during their match. He outright refused to play against Hans going forward, and it got real messy real quick. We started playing in the pig pen and things were getting dirty. This led to a huge avalanche effect where everyone was coming out to speculate on what the fuck was going on. And not just smooth-brained goober idiots like myself, but some of the most well-respected players in the entire world, grandmasters, came forward to offer their perspective on this. And Hans Niemann did have a past of cheating in online chess, but never in person. And cheating at an in-person over-the-board chess event is a very hard thing to prove. Eventually, the community started to come up with their own theories on how could he have cheated if he did. And naturally, the only sane explanation that makes sense, the only logical conclusion to draw, is that Hans Niemann must have cheated by having a vibrating butt plug lodged deep inside of his asshole that would vibrate for the correct moves to play against Magnus in this match. Thus spawned the butt plug cheating scandal that took the world by storm. It's important to note that that whole theory was only half serious. Like, I don't know how many people are diehard butt plug believers in this case, but it is like a possibility. The tech was even proven by some of the brightest minds in America. We damn near revived Oppenheimer to build a functioning chess bot butt plug. We had a lot of people on YouTube in particular come forward and make working prototype chess bot butt plugs that you could plug into your colon to help you be better at chess, just to prove that, you know, we as a species can make this. We have the technology. But the whole belief that this was a real thing wasn't the most grounded in reality. Like, it wasn't super serious, but it was fun. And that's why everyone latched onto it. But it really wasn't fun for Hans Niemann, whom his entire career was starting to crumble around him because of this reputation that he may have cheated. There's a lot of moving parts under the hood of this vehicle, and I'm not a fucking mechanic, so a lot of things that started happening behind the scenes I am unaware of. Most people are. There's only a handful of people that really know all of the particulars that started to go on behind the scenes, but what we do know is Chess.com launched an investigation of their own against Niemann to investigate the cheating allegations. They wanted to see if there was any evidence that Hans Niemann may have cheated against Magnus. Fast forward, investigation concludes, Chess.com finds no hard proof that Hans Niemann ever cheated in over-the-board chess, but they do find more evidence that Hans Niemann may have cheated in more online chess than he had initially led people to believe. Eventually, another person gets involved. His name is Hikaru. He's the biggest chess streamer and one of the best players in the world. Hikaru gets involved in this directly by making some hard claims during this whole situation, which only further damages Hans. So eventually, Hans Niemann launches a lawsuit against everyone. Chess.com, Magnus Carlsen, and Hikaru. It's a $100 million defamation lawsuit. And that brings us to today. That lawsuit has concluded. It has all been settled now, and sports fans, let me be the first to tell you, it's a bit of a surprising ending to this one, all things considered. Chess.com put out a statement saying that all the sides here have been working together to negotiate in good faith to resolve everything without further litigation, and they're happy to share that they've finally made it there. They're finally all coming together, holding hands and saying, you know what, group hug in the shower, no need for any more hostility. Which is not the ending I was expecting to the Game of Thrones here. So, Chess.com released a statement saying we're pleased to report that we've reached an agreement with Hans Niemann to put our differences behind us and move forward together without further litigation. At this time, Hans has been fully reinstated by Chess.com, and we look forward to his participation in our events. We'd also like to reaffirm that we stand by the findings in our October 2022 public report regarding Hans, including that we found no determinative evidence that he has cheated in any in-person games. We all love chess and appreciate all of the passionate fans and community members who allowed us to do what we do. I really thought this was going to be a much longer case that wouldn't have a happy ending here. I was expecting this to get extremely cutthroat. I thought we were going to be seeing some kind of biblical court smackdown where Hans Niemann comes in with some crazy evidence that everyone but him is a cheater. He like fucking scholars mates the entire chess community. Like, I was really expecting this to not have a happy resolution, but I'm pleasantly surprised to see that it does. I gotta be honest with all of you here, though, sports fans. Just like the man in the yellow hat, my George is getting a bit curious as to what this agreement they reached could have possibly looked like. It had to be financial. Like, if you checked Hans Niemann's ass right now, you wouldn't find a butt plug, you'd find a lot of money. Like, this had to be some kind of financial agreement they reached because Hans Niemann's career took a huge hit from all of this. In the chess world, the biggest, most prestigious tournaments with the best players in the world are invitation only. And take a guess who wasn't getting invited to these events. That's right, the bad boy of the bong cloud, Hans Niemann. So his career kind of did nosedive from all of this because he was labeled a potential cheater. So he hasn't been able to play against the best in the world anymore. So I feel like the only way that he would have had an agreement that was satisfactory is if somehow they paid him a lot of money to be okay with it, to not drag this out any longer. That's just my guess. But that could be as ludicrous as the butt plug theory in the first place. I don't know. Maybe Hans Niemann just wanted like a very sincere apology from everyone involved and he got it. That's very possible. I have no idea. But it is important to note his career really did reach a complete standstill from all of this. Now, one thing everyone has said, and I agree with, is that this never would have reached this point or even probably happened in the first place if Hans Niemann didn't have a history of cheating in online chess when he was younger. That is a very crucial component to why this spiraled out of control the way it did. And obviously it's a huge factor in why people were taking sides so strongly. One's a cheater, always a cheater. No, but wait, there's no proof of him ever cheating in over-the-board chess. We can't just go off of his past when he was a younger kid. Like, come on. So it led to a lot of messiness in the entire community. This whole thing was very unfortunate for literally everybody involved. But I do want to go ahead and look at both Magnus Carlsen's statement and Hans Niemann's statement. Magnus Carlsen said, "I acknowledge and understand Chess.com's report, including its statement that there is no determinative evidence that Niemann cheated in his game against me at the Sinquefield Cup. I am willing to play Niemann in future events should we be paired together." Hans Niemann said, "I am pleased that my lawsuit against Magnus Carlsen and Chess.com has been resolved in a mutually acceptable manner and that I am returning to Chess.com. I look forward to competing against Magnus in chess rather than in court and am grateful to my attorneys at Ovid and Ovid for believing in me and helping me resolve this case." So it seems like everything going forward will be business as usual. Magnus Carlsen will no longer just throw if he plays against Hans, and the two will go back to playing very high-level chess. It remains to be seen if Hans Niemann will now start to get invited to more of the bigger chess events that he's been missing out on. Chess.com seems to say that he's welcome to be at their events now, so he can start participating again at the highest level. So we're just going to have to wait and see how all of that unfolds. Hans Niemann did, however, release another video of his own here where he gets like right up in the camera like the goddamn Joker in The Dark Knight here saying, "Hey, I'm fucking back, baby."
Hello, chess world. Did you miss me? There will be a day when I will be the best chess player in the world, and I think it's time to let my chess speak for itself.
It's like a fucking WWE intro out here. So he does also say in that video that he still believes the Chess.com reports are defamatory and denies some of the allegations from it, but overall is still pleased that the whole situation is behind them now, so that way he can continue to move forward and play at the highest level. So that's where this whole cheating scandal finishes, I guess. 11 months in the making, and overall a pretty happy ending for most people involved in this case, it seems. So yeah, just wanted to give you the definitive update on it with the finale, and that's about it. See ya.